Hi beautiful people, I'm your VP Welfare Dorothy.
And I'm Liv, your Vice President Student Experience, and today we're going to talk to you about Movember. So Movember is a national campaign that runs over the month of November and is all around raising awareness for men's mental health. So this is specifically around fundraising for testicular and prostate cancer as well as men's suicide. But here at Essex we don't just see it as raising awareness for men's mental health, but mental health across the board is something that's really important to us here at Essex.
100%. And because it's so important to us, we want to make sure that we offer you the right services that you need if you ever feel like you're suffering from either one of those things. So, as a university, we actually do have a student wellbeing and inclusivity service. Here they offer you counselling. So if you ever feel like you're not someone to talk to, Swiss is there. They are a wellbeing service that is catered to you and to your needs. We also have SU Advice that are also on campus. I work closely with SU Advice. So if you ever feel like you ever want to talk to someone about any of these things, I am here for you. I'm here to support you, and my line is always open.
So this month we've got a lot going on with our clubs and societies who are fundraising on their own campaigns. Many students are growing a moustache. It's not too late to get involved. So you can grow a moustache. There are going to be fun events happening on campus. Get involved and speak with us. If you've got any events for yourselves, please let us know. Hopefully we can do a dodgeball tournament and some fundraising with our venues across campus. So it's just a really fun month. We want to bring awareness, bring light to this conversation, and just start the conversation and start breaking down that stigma around mental health.
100%. So if you want to keep in the loop, please do make sure that you follow our WhatsApp page on essexstudent.com. You can also find out about more of the events that we'll be holding on our Instagram account as well. And please, and as Liv said, never feel shy to talk about these sort of things. Of course, there's a stigma around it, but that's why we're all here at Essex to try and change the culture around that and to bring awareness to it and to be the world leaders of change that we are. So thank you so much, and see you soon.
See ya.
Hi, so what does Movember mean to you?
Well, to me, it's more of understanding that therapy and mental health is actually an important thing to look at, and it shouldn't be brushed under the rug as it is usually done.
Yeah.
I think just putting awareness out there that some guys may not necessarily show that they're struggling with some mental health, but they're welcome to get help and seek some assistance and stuff like that, I guess.
So how do you feel that the pandemic had impacted your mental health, or how is it now being back in person, or any key messages you want to give to other people?
It was really hard for me specifically because I used to do therapy. I still do therapy, and I took a break during the pandemic. So it was hard for me. Then I started doing it again, which I realized the actual importance of therapy, because it does, just talking about things in general, even doesn't have to be therapy, it can just be talking in general, does help a lot, understand your own emotions.
For me, it was really hard isolation-wise, being alone for 3 or 4 months when it was. It's pretty difficult, but getting back here and being with friends and just having some social interactions did definitely help.
Movember is charity that we're fundraising for across this month as well, and a lot of it's around raising awareness about testicular, prostate cancer and men's suicide. Do you guys know much about that?
I do know that the rate is 7-1 apparently men's suicide. I know it's very high. I haven't personally ever had an encounter with suicide, but I do know friends who knew people who killed themselves, so I know it's closer than you think. It's not as far as people would imagine. So I do know also testicular cancer. I've had people, not people personally, like myself, but I've had family and friends die from testicular cancer. So it is an issue to be raised awareness of.
I can't say I know too much, to be honest.
But this is all about getting clued up and raising awareness and starting the conversation.
And as a student, do you have any tips or anything as to how people can reach out for help or anything if they're going through any of these?
Find like-minded people. Not even like-minded people, just people who understand. Lots of people might not seem like they understand, but they can talking about it, obviously in the right context, not just bringing it up during a party or just finding a moment to sit down and talk about your feelings is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like therapy is great, but a lot of people may seem shy or reluctant to go to therapy.
Yeah.
But just talking to friends and people you care about is very important.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hi, so I'm just wondering what you think Movember means.
It's the month where men start to grow their moustaches to raise awareness for men's mental health.
Yeah.
It's just really important because some men don't really have anywhere to go to speak about their mental health. They might get laughed at, so it's important for them just to have someone to go to.
So within the SU, we're fundraising for Movember this month. It's around raising awareness for men's testicular, men's prostate and men's suicide, and really breaking down and starting that conversation. Do you feel like there's still a lot of stigma around mental health and especially for men in society?
Yeah, I think some of them don't get taken seriously, so it's really, really important for them to have someone to go to.
Thank you.
So why do you feel like it's important to speak about mental health, especially in your community?
It's not something that's really spoken about within our community, especially in households such as mine. So I think it's something that should be brought to awareness.
Yeah, 100%. And what's something you do to take care of your mental health?
I take a lot of long walks. I exercise a lot. I feel like listening to music as well is a really big thing for me because I really do love music. So doing stuff like that really keeps me, mentally stable.
Yeah, and how important do you feel like it is that the SU is doing something like Start the Conversation for Movember to start these conversations about mental health? Do you feel noticed by the SU that they're taking this action?
Yeah, I think it's a very big step for the SU to be taking notice of this because it's not something that's really brought to attention the way it should be. So I think, it's a very big step.
Thanks for talking to us. Love that. Thank you very much. Hey everyone, I'm with Robert Weir, who's the Charity and Community Officer for the Essex Blades. Robert, how does it feel starting this Movember campaign?
It's great. I'm really glad we got it going again. I was worried that we weren't going to get it going because of COVID again, because last year it was pretty poor. But this year, we're really trying to make sure that we get one of the best years we can out of it.
Yeah, and how can people get involved and support this cause?
We have multiple Essex Blades teams that are competing in it. Well, competing. We're all going for kind of number one team or even individual person as well. All you have to do is, if you head on to kind of the Movember Essex page, you'll be able to find the link there. If not, there'll be multiple people who can send you a link. There's all sorts of ways to get involved. And if you don't want to donate money, you can always grow a moustache as well. It's all about mental health, helping everyone out, so why not?
Love that. So where does this come personally for you? What does Movember mean to you?
Well, we've always done it as a rugby club, so it's always been quite big for myself from, even when I was younger, outside of uni. And it comes from mental health as well. Men's mental health isn't talked about enough. So it needs to be something that's spoken about more. So it's good that you've kind of got a month to be able to do that.
I love that. I think that's so important. And what's one thing you think we can do as a community to talk about men's mental health more and be more open?
Probably just making sure your mates are all right. Like just having a chat, saying, "Are you all right?" Even if you haven't seen them in a couple of days, or if you just been to the club with them, just ask them if they're all right. If something's going on, they might let you know, they might not. And if they do, then just be a pair of ears to listen to it.
100%, and watch out for those signs and see that if you ask and you get a fine, ask again and really delve into that. So remind us, where can we go to donate for Movember?
Essex Movember on Instagram, or just message myself or anyone on the exec team and we'll be able to send you a link.
Thank you, Rob. Great talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, so I'm with Jerica and Susie, and the SU are starting a new campaign called Start the Conversation for Movember to talk about mental health. Now, Jerica, what does mental health mean to you?
I'll say, Joe, that mental health to me is the frame of mind that you have, whether it may be a positive or negative frame of mind, but like how you are functioning mentally.
Yeah, so Susie, what does it feel like? Why do you think it's important to start this conversation and have that campaign on campus?
I think it's very important because so many people struggle and they keep it to themselves, and it's actually quite a common thing to suffer with mental, like anxiety, stress, depression. There's so many things that people suffer, and if you've got no one to talk to about it, it just becomes bigger and bigger in your mind. But but actually talking therapy is the best cure for these kind of things. So that's... Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us, both of you today. Thanks so much for talking to us. Have a lovely rest of your day. The SU are launching a new campaign called Start the Conversation for Movember. As a woman, what does Movember mean to you?
I think it's definitely really important to, as you said, start the conversations, and I think it's a good thing that you can see lots of like the men doing it. So like you can literally just be walking across and somebody be like, oh, I'm doing Movember and stuff. And I think, you know, that's a good way, even just to start the conversation, like, you know, by pointing out somebody's facial hair, I think is a really good thing, because it's often difficult to start the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. And what's something you do, and what things have you got in your life to help start those conversations and be open about mental health?
Well, therapy for one, and wellbeing ambassadors, bit of promo there. But yeah, so we're just like gathered together and we have like meetings and stuff where we're kind of just like each other's therapists and everything, and of course we've got all the support that's available on campus as well. So yeah, but it's definitely like easier to talk openly to people when you're in that kind of community, I guess.
Thank you, and thanks for being part of the Wellbeing Ambassadors and having those open conversations. Thank you. Hey everyone, Joe here, and I know as a man talking about mental health can sometimes be really difficult, and if we have those conversations we're disguising them and talking about them in different ways. And one thing that's being part of the advisory board of Born This Way Foundation I've really noticed is the link between kindness and mental health. If we're kind to people, if we say, how are you doing, hope you have a good day, it opens up that conversation, it starts that conversation and builds a really clear discourse around mental health, not just specifically, but in the general setting where we're being kind, where we're being considerate, where we're being respectful, and understanding there's so much to people that we don't see. And keeping that in mind with a kind mind really helps everyone fit into a community and have those conversations both openly and both privately, which is both okay, because we don't always feel comfortable talking about things, and that is okay, but just being aware and noticing how you feel and being kind to yourself, saying, okay, I don't feel like I've got the energy right now, all these things are going on, but that's okay, it's not a problem. I've got to be kind to myself and realise that just because I can't do that today, there will be days where I feel more inclined or stronger to be able to do those things, and to also notice that in others, so we form a kind cycle where we're supporting each other's mental health and building a stronger community.